Welcome to the 2025 Trash Can Awards. Some books change your life, others just ruin your week. We've all heard that books are meant to be loved and digested, but these 10, trust me, they are to be incinerated. I have suffered through the bad writing, massive plot holes, and the cringiest dialogues ever so that you don't have to. Before we go on to our disasters, let's look at 5 honorable mentions. First up is The Villa. This book is just so absurd in what it tries to do. Like, it's basically about 2 writers in an Italian villa setup. Yeah, kind of sounds a promising theme, but no. It just tries to put a modern mystery and a historical mystery in this villa and just fails at both of them. Like, I kept waiting for some pulse, for some thrill, for some plot twist over the course of the story, but there was none. For such a bright and summery cover, I can't believe that the story was so dull. The award it gets is the Flat Thriller Award. Next up is The No-Show. This book is about 3 women being stood up by the same guy. Yeah, sounds messy, right? Yes, and it was. I mean, for a romance, it was way too complicated, and for me, I did hate this book, but I didn't particularly love it. And one main reason for that was I was kind of rooting for a couple in this book who did not end up being together. So yeah, it was meh. And the award it gets is its Complicated Award. Next up is 1,000 Miles. This book is about 2 estranged best friends who try to take a road trip together to amend their relationship. Sounds cute, right? But no. These guys had zero chemistry. They were so unlikable and they were so confused. I didn't even know what they were fighting about. I feel like the characters themselves had no idea what they were fighting about. And it was 1,000 miles of nothing. The award it gets is Are We There Yet Award. Next up is 8 Perfect Murders. Now, this book is just straight up rude because what it will do is not only it will give you a very average or bad mystery, but it will spoil other great mystery books for you. So this book is a list of about perfect fictional murders, and then it just goes on into in literature what were the other books which kind of state these murders, and then it just goes on to ruin them. Trust me, I was reading Secret History by Donna Tartt in parallel, and I came to know of the twist through this book, and it ruined a great book for me. So yeah, and not only that, in this book, I guessed most of the twists halfway through, and the actual ending, it was just so bad. It was worse than what I thought it would be. The award it gets is the Spoiler Alert Award. Next up is The Choice. This is a fast-paced, well-written book, but it has a plot that is so stupid that I don't even feel like talking about it. It's about the story is about a choice, right? But this choice in the story, which a parent has to make, I feel it's not even a choice. Any parent would do it in a heartbeat. So it's it is based upon the stupid, silly conception, and that makes the whole story so pointless. The award it gets is the Captain Obvious Award. And now let's move on to our real disappointments. On number 10 we have Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Now, Alice Feeney and I need to accept this now that we are in a toxic relationship. She writes books, I read them, and I just get disappointed and annoyed by them. In this book, we follow a writer who goes to this remote, kind of a weird island to write. And I would say the setup is honestly really good. The atmosphere it creates in its weird cultish vibes, it's great. But then the ending happened. I don't know why, but I feel like Alice Feeney, just for the shock value of it, she keeps putting these absurd plot twists that make no sense. There's no physics or logic behind all of them. It's not really a twist if it doesn't make sense. And I was so annoyed by it. Not only did I see what was the main, the plot ending was supposed to be miles away, but then the ending, the logic behind why it happens, it was just so absurd that I wanted to throw this book in the ocean itself. The award it gets is It's Not Me, It's Feeney Award. Next up is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I would like to call this the dumb thriller. Yeah, the setup is classic. There's this girl who has some kind of past. She goes into Paris to live with her brother. He goes missing. All the neighbors are suspicious. Great premise, right? No, wrong. I finished this book and felt absolutely nothing. Zero satisfaction. It is the literary equivalent of eating a rice cake when you had ordered a croissant. This is the second Lucy Foley book which I've read, and I felt like, yeah, that's it. Like, the mystery wasn't mysterious, none of the characters were interesting enough, and I think the major plot twist was the time I spent reading it. Yeah. Maybe she's just not for me, or maybe the apartment should have just stayed empty. The award it gets is, mon Dieu, this was bad award. Next up is What D by Frida McFadden. Now, this book is kind of classic example of how you can write a fast-paced thriller without an ounce of logic. This book is basically about this medical student who has to spend one night in this locked mental ward. And yeah, it sounds great as a premise again, but then like there's zero logic. And if you would think that this book would probably take a nuanced take on mental health, on mental patients, no. All of them are violent and the weather outside is bad, so you can't escape, I guess. And the main character, Amy, the medical student I was talking about, like, she is so stupid that I feel like she bought her degree out of the dark web. Like, she makes so stupid decisions that can probably get you killed in a cartoon, let alone in a mental ward. And there's like the setup was so filmy, the backstory was so convenient, and nothing like really made sense. Like, I thought like the midway through there was going to be a director who's going to yell cut. I don't mind suspending disbelief, but this book kind of asked me to kind of suspend my whole brain while reading it. The award it gets is the medical degree from Craigslist award. Next up is With a Vengeance by Riley Sacher. Or at least the book says it's by him, but between me and you, I think this is written by a ghostwriter who was given a prompt of, write about a murders in a train, whodunit on a train, and he just gave up halfway through. I am so disappointed in this book. I really love this author, but here it's just a mess of characters and storylines that like this just felt so fake, and it just felt like it was a bad script for a 2 DVD movie or something. This whole setup of luring people to train for revenge, so gimmicky, so fake, and completely lacked any nuance. The characters here had the depth of a puddle, the plot, the motivations made zero sense, and the plot twist, like, they were so obvious that I felt like the train conductor might have seen it coming miles ago. And the award it gets is Strangers on a Painful Commute award. Next up is Falling by T.G. Newman. From the title itself, it's obvious how my interest levels kept peaking as I kept reading this book. Like, I'm telling you, this book just felt like a deflated balloon in a sad kid's birthday party. Frustrating part is I have actually read the earlier book by her, or later book by her, which is Drowning, and that was a great book. So I feel like she can really write great books, but this book, it just felt like a generic rough draft of a book. The plot was forced, the tension was non-existent, and I didn't care about a single character on that plane. Like, I feel it's so exciting to read about aviation thrillers from a person who has worked in that industry, but I feel like this book, this plane, this aviation flight, it needed an emergency landing. The award it gets is Please Fasten Your Seatbelts Because It's Going to Be Boring award. Next up is The Glass Hotel by Emily Sonjan Mendel. Now, on paper, the setup, the plot sounds very promising. A woman disappears from a container ship. There's a Ponzi scheme unfolding. There is this hotel in the middle of wilderness, and it's supposed to all tie up together. And it promises, crime, drama, and mystery all together. But in reality, like, this book is kind of the equivalent of, imagine, like, this person in party who feels like, I'm saying very profound things, I'm sounding very intelligent, and he's like using these hard words, heavy words to say something, but actually that person is saying nothing. Like, this book is similar to that. It makes use of intersecting storylines, complicated timelines, and in essence just basically expands the book blurb into 300-400 pages. I'm telling you, just read the back of this book and you will be done. Because this book tries to act so smart, it tries to go into the psyche of every character, and I kind of forgets what it's actually trying to do. And this book, I just thought it just tried to mean a lot, but there wasn't a lot of substance in it. I almost DNF'd it at 50% mark, because honestly, I think watching a paint dry has more tension. The award it gets is the Pretentious Paperweight award. Next up is The Priest by Sierra Simone. Now, it's exactly what the title suggests. You have this priest, Tyler. He meets this woman in a confessional booth, and then they start this, forbidden, steamy affair. for a priest, and it promises kind of the most forbidden romance that you have ever read. And honestly, I just wanted this book to be over. Like, I've read a lot of dark romance. I'm not like clutching at pearls here, but this book, it was just stupid. There's zero plot, zero character development, and at the end, it's just smut held together by a thin wafer of guilt. The forbidden aspect of the book just lost its charm after 20 pages, and the love story that's supposed to happen, I never felt it because these guys are not talking to each other. And leave the whole thing of, this tension it should have created. Oh, will they get caught? The whole time I was just wondering, like, why does Tyler even become a priest in the first place? Like, to be honest, it was just a mere test of my patience for me to reach the finish line. And the award it gets is Forgive Me, Father, for I Have Skimmed award. Next up is Alchemized by Stanley Yu. Now you have to address the elephant in the room, that Alchemized doesn't stand as a standalone book at all. Yes, it's based on the fan fiction Manacle, where I can just feel like they have scrapped the serial numbers off, put it into a shiny new cover, gave it some kind of atmospheric setting, and then just put a $30 price tag on it. I read like 1,000 pages of it, and I'm so furious because it's just like, it's so frustrating. Like, the part 1 of this book was unnecessarily confusing, then the part 2 is just massive 40-50 pages chapters of falling for each other, growing apart, falling for each other, growing apart on a loop, but no real character motivations are explained. And then the part 3, the ending, it was fine. It was not great for a 1,000-page book. Manacle could have worked as a fanfic because you actually care about these characters, you understand what their motivations are. But Alchemist, like, it just has like these cardboard side characters, a plot that just refuses to move, and a very annoying main character. Honestly, I could have read 4 other books at the time I spent reading this one and could have had 4 great plots. The award it gets is this could have been an email award. Next up is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Now look at the cover of this book. It's one of the most cutest, wholesome, fuzzy cover I've seen. But the plot of it, the inside what it is, it's anti-cute. This book poses a very important question. Why is a fluffy romance about ice hockey 500 pages long? I knew I was in trouble when these guys started making out almost immediately, because then I started thinking, what are they going to do for the rest 80% of the book? And the answer was the same thing. Again and again and again. Zero build-up, zero tension. The dialogue in this book was so cringeworthy that my soul tried to leave my body a few times. This book is not a book, it's just a second-hand embarrassment of cringiest dialogues and same things over and over again. I am telling you, this book needed an editor with a machete, not a spell checker. The award it gets is the Editor's Day Off Award. Next up, the glorified winner of the Trash Can Awards is Magnolia Parks by Chessa Hastings. Now, this book tried to be a glorified version of The Gossip Girl, but all it ended up being was a massive headache, at least for me. I am honestly so angry because I read this super long book trying to, at least get something out of it, some plot out of it, but all I got was these rich kids who needed therapy and then just name dropping designer brands to show that they have personalities. The main character, Magnolia, she's just insufferable. Like, she's this rich brat who's just impulsive, rude to everyone, behaves the way she wants. And then when you try to get anything out of her, it's just like, oh yeah, that's the way she is. The relationship here is so toxic. The drama of it is just boring. And at the end, like, all the characters are just so insufferable that I couldn't root for a single of one of them. Honestly, the silver lining is liking this book is kind of like a milestone for me. It kind of proved to me that yes, now you're an adult and you don't like to read or care about things these shallow. And the award it gets is the Toxic Waste Lifetime Achievement Award. And that's the list. I have officially lost enough brain cells for a year for now. Look, if you loved any of these books, I'm sorry, but this is just my personal opinion and we can still be friends. Let me know in comments below which are the books that personally victimized you this year so that we can trauma bond together. Till then, let me go and read a book that has a plot for now. Bye bye. Good night. Shubhratri.